Welcome to another episode of the Hayes Hustle Podcast. It is me, your host, Coach Hayes. I'm in the house. It's Thursday. I hope you're having a fantastic week. Thank you for joining me today. Buckle up, baby. Thursday. You know what that means? It's Therapy Thursday. Time to take that throwback. Throwback Thursday. Time to go back in time. Time to rewind. Go back in time. And just start talking in rhymes. That's what time it is. As soon as I get on the mic, it's like an automatic thing. I don't talk like that normally, but as soon as the microphone get in front of me, the words just start coming together. That's when you know that shit is just natural, God-given, you know? So you got to spit it, man. You got to get it out. When it comes, you got to get it out. Anybody out there, don't fight the feeling. You know what I'm saying? When the feeling hits you, you got to go with it. That's in life for real. Being present means when you feel it, you do it. When you see it, react. That's what's up, you know? That's living presently. That's living in the present. Hope everybody's living in the present. One of the big key ways of being happy, because you can't change the past, and you can't live in the future. You gotta wait till we get here. And a lot of us doing now because we're waiting on something to happen in the future. That's the quickest way to have depression and anxiety, or keep on kicking yourself in the ass because some mistake you made back in back. Another way to encourage yourself to have depression and or anxiety. Straight up. Just giving you some keys. Focus on the now. Focus on the now. That's how I go. Be thankful for the now. Be grateful for the now. So when you start worrying about that other shit, you ain't grateful for the now. You worrying about the past. You ain't worried about what's going to happen. Next thing you know, you crash. Because you ain't focused on what's right in front of you. Real talk. Big talk from the big OG. Just throwing down some straight game before I get into story time. Usually I don't give no game. In story time, I'm just giving stories. So I want to make sure I'm coming out. I'm swinging. I'm giving some game. It's old school day. I got my Grant hat on. This is where I went to old school. So I figure I was going to represent today, pull out something old school. So I pull out my Grant gray blue hat. G5G in the house. Let's go. Okay. So yeah. So if I'm going to take a trip back, I had to get some memorabilia that helped me take a trip back. Help me remember some of this crazy, mess that I made it through, which allows me just to be so thankful every day, because I see people that didn't make it. I remember some of my friends that we thought gang banging and selling dope and all that stuff was so important when we was in our 20s. Some of my family and some of my friends, they ain't here no more because of the life. Just choosing that life. Thought that shit was just all movies. Didn't know that shit was gonna be for real. And back then you wasn't doing it for clicks. It wasn't no click. You was doing it for clicks. Like, you know what I'm saying? You was unloading clips. That's what you was doing. You wasn't doing it for no clicks because nobody got to see shit. Well, from my era, ain't nobody reporting shit. No crimes on Instagram and no crimes on Facebook. Real G's don't do that shit. You gonna do it, nigga. You move in silence. The last thing you want is somebody to know what the hell you doing. You see me now on Instagram because all this shit is legal. When we living that life, you ain't see me out like a ghost. Here, there, everywhere, but you ain't really see me, man. I was behind the scenes, and still now I don't get out like that, man. I'm taking care of business. You can see me here. You might not see me in the street anywhere because I ain't in the street. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna see me like that. Nah. When I ain't had nothing to do, when I was always searching for something, that's when you see me, because I was searching. Always out, man, please. Well, I really ain't been that type of dude ever. But when I was younger, I was. And I learned to embrace who I really am. And that's on the low, get the job done, Hustle, grind. Live by a code. Like live by a code. I live by everything's by a code. Everything's by a code. Some of y'all losing because y'all don't live by no code. Y'all just do anything. You know what I'm saying? You just eat anything, sleep with anybody. Don't stay, solid to your hustle. You ain't dedicated. You're lazy. So many people, some of these different things. Like, no, I'm on. I'm on. I believe I'm 100%. I'm all in. Find something you can sell out to, man. That's how you buy yourself a great future. The best thing is sell out to yourself, sell out to God, sell out to your mission, your gift. That's what you sell out to. Everything you got, give to it. Pay you back tenfold. Real talk. Hey, Throwback Thursday. Throwback Thursday. Boom, 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 boom. Grant 5. I went to Grant High School in Portland, Oregon. Grant High School in Portland, Oregon. Crazy, crazy, crazy times. Crazy crap. I've highlighted on a couple of these episodes how there's two different schools in Oregon that really got public schools. They got the most majority of black kids. Jefferson High School, Grant High School. Oddly situated. Grant High School is in a really rich district, even though it has a whole lot of black kids. And these black kids, I think it's just the way the boundary lines break down or something like that. I'm not really sure. But the only black kids that go there are the athletes, really. It's just when I went there, that's how it was. I mean, there's a couple other just right. No, and I can't say that. There's a lot of girls there that was not athletes and stuff like that. And there was some dudes that wasn't athletes. That was just some, regular ass students. But there was some regular ass troublemakers too. And then Jefferson is in the predominant black neighborhood. It is in the hood, right? And I lived 2 blocks away from Jefferson. 2 blocks away from Jefferson. And I ended up going to Grant High School, which was literally miles away from my house. Miles away from my house. And I did it by choice. I mean, both schools, Jeff was blue and gold. Grant was blue and silver. So, But my cousin, he was a big gang member. And he ran with a certain, even though a lot of the neighborhood the neighborhood I lived in was a Crip neighborhood. It was a Crip neighborhood. Them niggas wasn't going to high school though. You know what I'm saying? I think there was actually Bloods in the high school, but at my school, anyway, I ended up going to Grant, and mostly because of some of it is because my cousin, he had lots of enemies at Jefferson, which in turn, because I was related to him, and once you're affiliated, but we got to bust down affiliation here real quick. Once you're affiliated, you might as well be a gang member. So I had to make a decision to kind of, okay, listen, I can go to this school over here that actually got some sports. If I go over here, I'm going to gang bang. We're going to fight. We're going to shoot. That's just what the life's going to be. And this school over here, it still got black cats in there, which I love. And it still got a great sports program. And the other thing it did, it allowed me to dream, because the neighborhood did not look like mine. I lived in a duplex that was about big as somebody's bathroom. You know what I'm saying? So to walk to school, to park my car and walk, or even when I caught the bus, to walk past those houses and go, man, we still did that, man. That's my crib. Oh my God, I would love the house. Look at that crib. Look at the grass. Look at the cars. Oh my God. We just thought, man, that's the fucking life. You know what I'm saying? That is the life. And so that also made me want to go to that school. because it made me dream, the whole 4 years when I was in high school, when I would pull up and I would go get my car at night. I'd be like, man, I'm gonna have a house like this. I'm gonna have me something nice. It's you can't you can't expect a kid to dream. I mean, to chase if you don't give them a dream. Kids only chase if they got something to dream about. They gotta have something to, I gotta have it. Then they'll get up and give it to you. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So you gotta make sure, the kid got something. These days it's cell phones, right? You take a cell phone away from a kid do anything for you. But you gotta know what pushes the button. You gotta have a, hopefully you give them some dreams bigger than a damn phone. Right, to make them chase, light they fire. That's what it's all about. High school, Grand High School, and it was, great high school experience. If I had to do it again, I would have went to a different high school. Honestly, and not either one of those. I would have went to a high school that was about some business that I was about, because the time I was about trying to be a serious athlete, and I went to a school that was the last thing that school was about. My school was about being cool. My school was about, you know what I mean? Like, if you didn't follow the crowd, then you was weird. You know what I mean? If you didn't dress a certain way, you was weird. Girls liked a certain kind of dude, especially when this shit came out. If you wasn't a tough guy, you can forget about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You were just an athlete. These niggas over here, they moving, they making money now, and it was something. We were just the athletes, and you just everything, right? But now these dudes coming to school. You a 15-year-old with 200-300, 400-500, and you can go buy everybody McDonald's and everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you come to school with a car at 14 and 15, and these dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like, these girls, like, yo, boom, like, shit started early. You know what I'm saying? So, high school was interesting. Man. It just, what I remember was how it forced me to kind of be somebody I really wasn't. I just want to be honest with you. This is Throwback Thursday, some reality shit. And what I remember was, again, there was so much shit happening in that school. And it was Crips, it was Bloods, it was jocks, it was theater people, it was, because we still in the white neighborhood. So they got swimming, we got a pool at the school, everything is there. And so, it was just a hell of a time. And I remember my father used to always tell me, you gotta learn how to be a loner. And I really couldn't understand the concept of that. You know what I mean? Because I just come from, you always got friends. You always want friends, right? You think you got friends anyway. You think you do. And that's a big thing in middle school. Friends and your boys and all this kind of shit. And my dad said, like, man, you need to really focus on being a loner. My dad would let me have you can have 4 friends. That's all you can have is 4 friends. That's the most. That's the only motherfuckers come over our house. Those only people you can go over their house. Don't ask me about nobody else. If you do, I'm whooping your ass. That was my dad's shit. You'll be shitting Nikes for the next fucking... I'm going to put my shoe up your ass. You will be shitting Nikes for the next... I heard that speech about 1 million times. He ain't let me have no friends. He said, listen, I'm just going to be honest with you. Out of them 4 motherfuckers, only one of them probably going to be your real friend. I hate to break your heart. So I know you like all these niggas, but only one or 2 of these niggas probably going to be real friends. I'm just going to break it down to you. So imagine if you had 30 friends. Probably only 3 of them your friends. He said, so how many friends you really need? My dad just made the decision for me. You won't have any more friends than that. They won't be able to call over here. When they call over here, I'm going to say, who are you? Oh, you ain't Lord? You ain't Bo? You ain't Anthony? No, don't call back over here. That was my dad. My dad didn't want to hear it. It's four of y'all. Your job four? Nah, police think more than four people is a gang. So yeah, four is good. You know what I'm saying? My dad just made the decision for us that's what it was. Go. That's enough. That's four. Yeah, if y'all get too many more people, yeah, the police will be stopping y'all. So won't y'all just, four of y'all fit in the car? Good. That's what that'll work. You don't need no more seatbelts. That's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That motherfucker had very different logic than most people. You know what I'm saying? But it was real. It was really real because, again, I thought all these friends, you got to do what everybody else do. You supposed to wear. I remember stressing about clothes and what shoes I'm going to wear. I look at my son now, and this nigga go to private school now, right? But it's all black. There's a bunch of black kids there. They real deal. That's a big time school in the state. What this boy wear to school sometime? I mean, this boy wearing pajama pants, and he don't give a damn. And he been like that since sophomore year. I remember freshman year, nigga, you had to have creased up, shoes was clean. I had my outfit out the night before. This nigga is literally like getting shit out the dryer, out the dirty clothes the day of school. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? He don't give a fuck. They're like, man, please. My girl don't even go to that school. Nigga's girlfriend don't go to school. He don't give a fuck who see him at the school. Very different logic, right? My girl went to the school. So every day you had to have this shit on this shit had to be real. You had to be ready. Nigga shit was locked in, you know what I'm saying? So a little different times these days, a little different times these days. But back in the day, I just remember being so nervous, man. Because again, if I'd have went to a school that was about football, that was about education, the focus wouldn't have been on that stuff. But that was scary for me because I wanted to stay in the lane I had been in. I had been in the city. I was born in the city. I was born around my people, and going to this other school, which was Jesuit High School at the time, they had gave me a full ride scholarship, me and two of my friends. Go to this high school, and the path to college it's going to be hard because all white kids in this school, which I wasn't cool with, all white kids. I'm coming from St. Louis. I didn't even know how to talk to white people, right? You know what I'm saying? I at the time, I didn't know what I was doing. I hadn't been fully like, I didn't understand, back then, I come from St. Louis, you think they trying to kill us. You know what I'm saying? When you talk to St. Louis, they are not your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like this, it took me a long time to understand that evil people are evil people. And a good person is a good person. It don't give a fuck about the skin. There's good people and there is bad people. But it took me a long time. I was a kid. I was still going off of the shit I had learned in St. Louis. So it's talking about all boys. Pause. All boys. What do you mean? What do you mean all boys? I've been waiting to get to high school to watch these big booty girls, and now you're gonna tell me that I can't even go to high school? No. So it was gonna take me some sacrifice. It was gonna take me to be uncomfortable about all these white kids, and that really was it. Because the football and the education was top notch, and it's still is one of the top in the state. But I didn't do it. Again, let me mark this. When you don't do what you're destined to do, you're gonna go through a whole bunch of hurt and bullshit that you had no business going through. And that's what I did. Went to the wrong school. That was about the wrong shit. That was kind of the wrong path. At some point, freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, I could have transferred and said, you know what, this is the wrong thing for me. One of my friends, he actually did that. Like, nah, that's the wrong school, bro, I gotta go. Then he came back, but then he eventually dropped out. Because I'm sure it didn't take us down the right path. It wasn't what we were groomed for. We were groomed to go to the next level and do all shit. Now we in a situation where you about to be, which gang you gonna be in, Crip or Blood? Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no way out of this school. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, not. We didn't have the background. I didn't have a mama and a daddy. My dad was a hustler. Like, I had all the setups to just continue that lifestyle, to continue that cycle. It'd be something if you were set up with, two parents and some work, stability. But I was changing addresses every, 6 months. I was living in a motel half the time. I was, you know what I mean? I was hustling to get to pay the motel rent dues, you know what I mean? And so that was hard. they probably would even gave me some help out there. Who knows? But at my school, ain't nobody helped me. I ain't like I'm looking for no help or nothing like that. But so it was tough trying to fit in, trying to be like everybody else when your life is falling apart, when you don't have a place to live, but you got to keep on coming and put on the same appearance. And then at night when everybody, I'm going home, go home, I literally got to go over to the motel. This was a tough part for me. I and I'm not. I just fast forward to this, but this was a part that really sticks with me. At some point, me and my pops, we lost our one of our cribs. We had my dad was always losing. Just trying to be consistent. It was tough. Whether it was circumstances for him, whether I don't know, but we was losing cribs, always getting evicted. Maybe he was falling behind on rent, but we was always fucking falling behind. You know what I mean? And it just really, in some of the circumstances, being a lot worse than others. And this circumstance, when we lost this place, I had a choice. My dad was going to go live with this girl on the other side of town, or I could stay on the side of town my high school was in and try to survive and go to school. Now, my little cousin, he went to the same high school, so I said, I'll stay with him. My uncle lived over there. I'll stay with him. Well, my uncle and my dad fell out. I was staying at my uncle's house for a couple weeks. Next thing I know, they fell out. Maybe he ain't giving my uncle enough money for me to stay there, ain't covering the food, whatever the case is. I have my own car, so I was trying not to be there a lot. Be at my girl's house, be at my boy's house, and then just come there and kind of go to sleep. Nigga trying to figure that out at 16 and 15, it was tough. You know what I'm saying? Just really tough. I'll go to my cousin's house. They let me, my auntie, my cousin. I sleep on the floor, sleep on the couch, whatever it was. It was cool. I get to eat, my dad had come over, bring some groceries and shit like that. But he was still living with this girl. And this girl was a stripper at the time. And she was literally like a year or two in age away from me. So for me, uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Uncomfortable. I was just like, you know what? I don't think I need to be in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that's a pro. I don't think so. I'm telling you, know what I mean? Like, I don't think so. So my only option was to stay at this motel. And the motel was it was called the Dunes Motel. And it was right by the school, probably 3-4 blocks away. Now, when my dad got me set up at the motel, and my dad was paying the room stuff for a long time, but then I wouldn't see him for a couple of days, and I don't know what the fuck was going on, and then people would be like, "Yo, we need payment, and I'm like, "Hey, my dad's coming." They're like, "No, we need payment today." And honestly, like, this is what started me any kind of hustling. This is what started me hustling, was because this motel is called the Dunes Motel. It's called something else now, like Fairfield. So I don't know what it's called, Banfield, something like that. It's still there, but it's a different ownership. A couple things about this time that made this tough. You think it'd be cool having a spot that you could kind of go to and nobody fuck with you, and I mean not nobody fuck, but nobody's around. You can kind of make your own decisions, and that shit was lonely. Hotel room every night by myself. Gets me again, and I'm kind of scared because never been in a situation. I'm getting like Wendy's and, I had some partners that worked at Burger King and McDonald's. So I'll go by there, get a bunch of unhealthy ass food, go back to the room, eat the food for the night, fall asleep. But then when my dad wouldn't show up, it was like, all right, I got to figure this shit out. And for a while, I'd be skating around. I'd be sneaking around because I still have my key. But then they start locking the doors. Right, changing change the code or whatever, and then I'm cold. I don't know what to do. Right, the fucked up thing was a girl that went to my high school. This is an Indian family owned this, right? Like like the yeah, I don't know. I want to say this young lady, I forget her name, but Indian family. These guys, that's the business. They in that business. You know what I'm saying? They don't mess around. That's the big money business in the family and and if just look at the Patels, look up the word Patels, right? There's the million. I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but man, they're in the hotel business a lot. Her last name was Patel too. I do remember. And they owned a motel. You know what I'm saying? And she was the same class as me. But what was so embarrassing for me is she knew that I needed to pay my daily dues, right? And maybe this is why her parents was giving me a break, because she could have just said, get the fuck out of here. Because when I would go to school, we had classes together. But this girl would see me later on going to live in her motel room, and I would be trying to hide. But shit, she got the paperwork. She knew exactly who I was. I didn't think about that until, I got older. But it was really embarrassing, man. It was just so embarrassing. And I was sneaking there, man. I must have lived in there for like a year. I ain't gonna lie to you. For like a year, and it was hard. Maybe 6. I don't know. Maybe more like 6 months. But it was a long time, and it was scary. Some of the scarier moments was really, and I talked about this on the podcast before. It was I remember there was like a pimp and a hoe in the room next to me, and you know how the doors open up to each other's room. Nobody ever opened the door, but it was like razor thin. And so I remember this dude would come in and just beat the shit out of these hoes in the room, and I'd be like sitting up there trying to eat, whatever, and literally knocking the pictures off the wall. Oh, bitch, I told you, bitch, don't you ever, and I'm sorry, Ricky, I'm sorry, pretty Ricky, whatever the fuck she was saying. I was like, oh shit, like this shit is getting real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is the realest shit ever. But with that said, I never intended on my dad. My dad was a hustler. He never wanted me to be a hustler. But I didn't know no other way. I didn't know no other way to make that money. I didn't know no other way to live. It was survival. If you wanna make an entrepreneur, then give them no safety net. Give them no safety net, because you gotta figure it out. I had to just fucking figure it out, bro. It was not comfortable. It was not something I want to do for the rest of my life. It was not nothing but it was what I had to do right then, because I didn't know how I was gonna live. At some point, my auntie and my cousin, you know how you start getting under each other's skin. She was like, hey, I think you need a little break from here. So she didn't really want me to. I don't think my dad was giving her no money. That nigga had just kind of went AWOL and kind of left me on other niggas' tabs. And so she kind of was like, hey, I don't think, basically like I'm like my dad's kind of using her type of deal. And I'm up here eating food in the house. My big ass, 300-pound nigga eating, and her son is a big old nigga. My little cousin, he a big old nigga. So we both eating, and she's a single mom. And so that was tough. And we had burnt the bridge with my uncle. So I really had nowhere to go. I had nowhere to go, bro. So I had to make it happen. And so I had really all my friends that was really close to time, they had all abandoned me. They had really all abandoned me. I had started hanging around a couple of my little cousins, little partners, start chopping them up game, just start talking to them a little bit. Because I was just going through it, and all my partners had just disappeared on me. One of my boys Bo, he had dropped out of school, and he was hustling. He was doing this thing,